Welcome, everyone. I am John Ryan, and this is the Friday edition, February 25th, 2022 of the NBA Triple-Double Show, powered by the Predictive Playbook and presented to you by SportsMemo TV. And I have my regular pal, friends, professional sports betting guru, Ronald Cabang, in the house. Welcome to the show, Ronald. We're going to get you more than covered for the Friday night action in the NBA, which is the restart to the end of the regular season. And boy, is it going to be a sprint down the stretch with some of these teams, especially in the Eastern Conference, that is all jumbled up with a lot of teams that could actually be the number one seed or maybe not even make it. So we'll get right to it here, Ronald. We're going to take a look at the first game on our card, and this is the Philadelphia 76ers with that new guy, some guy named James Harden, I understand, is now playing for them. And I must have missed the blockbuster trade. I don't know how he really got there, but seriously, this is going to be interesting because the Sixers are one of those teams that could be the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. And they're going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves on the road at the Target Center at 8 o'clock tonight. The Sixers are 35-23 on the season. The Timberwolves are a losing record team in their own right. I'm sorry, the Timberwolves are not a losing record team. They are 32-28 on the season. They're 30-28 against the spread. The Sixers are one game under 500 against the spread. Away, they're 19-10. They have one of the best road records in the NBA. Where do you see the betting opportunity in this one, Ronald?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's going to be talking about the Harden debut. There was some news out that they're going to change up their offensive flow. They're going to have either Harden, Maxey, Tobias Harris, and Embiid, at least two of those guys on the court at all times. So I think that's going to be really good for them in the long run, but obviously this is going to be their first game out there. There could be some issues, to start the game off. But ultimately, I do like the Sixers in the spot, and also the over here. The Wolves are going to be on a second game of back-to-backs. They just beat the Grizz in a key conference game. So that could be a problem here where they let go a little bit, right? Because this is going to be a non-conference game here. And the Sixers, they're 3-1 against the spread as road favorites in non-conference games. So they do well in these spots. The over here is a good look just because of the Wolves. Anytime you have the Wolves playing, the over is always a good look. They're 13-4 to the over in the last 17 games. And they're also 3-6 against the spread and 6-3 to the over in second game of back-to-backs. So that kind of goes with the leans here on Philly and the over. I probably wouldn't take like a first half play here. It would be nice to see how the Sixers flow to start this game. This could be a spot where, if you're not too confident in it, you could wait till halftime and see how the game is going.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was thinking in-game live betting here, Ronald, right from the start, that I will not do anything on this game before the start of it, but I do lean the Sixers. I think I'm wearing the Sixers hat today. But seriously, I think, with a line of -2, -2.5, there's no value in betting that before the game. There's going to be enough volatility that you have to think that this is not going to be a game that the Sixers are going to come out of the gate and just blow them off the court. Of course that can happen, and you wouldn't have a chance to get the in-game bet in. But I'm going to be looking for getting Philly in-game in the first quarter as an underdog, as they learn to adjust with James Harden on the court and the different mixes that you outlined brilliantly. So I think that's my play here, and we'll be tweeting it, so stay tuned for that. We're going to move on to our next game, and this game is two teams that actually might not be in the playoffs, and I say that with laughter, but it is mind-blowing. The Clippers are 8th in the Western Conference. The Lakers are 9th. They're playing at their home court, called the Crypto.com Arena, better known as the Staples Center for guys like me. The Clippers are 30-31 on the season. The Lakers are 4 games under 500. I don't see how in the world the Lakers are actually going to put this together. Yeah, they were losing when they had AD and LeBron on the floor together, and it just doesn't seem to be a very cohesive unit. And also, they didn't make any moves at the trading deadline. Not one significant move by the Lakers, which also was quite shocking, and probably more shocking than their poor record. But at home, at the Staples Center, this is funny to say because they're at the same place. Home, the Lakers are 18-13, and on the road, which is actually at home for the Clippers. They're 12 and 18. As an underdog, they're 13 and 18. Take it away, Ronald, and give me some help on this dastardly matchup.
Yeah, this is a tough one for either side, really. I mean, because if you look on paper, the Lakers look like the team that should be winning this one pretty easily, because Clippers are obviously going to be without PG and Kawhi, and they're also going to be out without Norman Powell. So there's really not too much offense you could see, like a star guy really on the Clippers side that could dominate the ball. If they win, it would be, obviously as a team. But surprisingly, they've covered 4 straight heading into the break, and they've also gone 7-2 to the over in their last 9 games. And the Lakers, they're going to be without Bradley, AD, and Nunn's still out. I don't know when he's going to be playing. Melo and LeBron are game time decisions, but I feel like they're likely to play here. And they have Pelicans next, and to me, that's another key. They're playing back-to-back key games here if they're going to try to make the playoffs. To be honest, it's really tough, especially on the side here for both of these teams. You can't really trust either side. So I'll be looking towards the over. I think in current form, the over is the look. Obviously Clippers, like I mentioned, 7-2 to over in the last 9 games, and the Lakers as home favorites. They've been an over team in those spots. 14-8-3 to the over as home favorites, including 9-5-2 to the over as home favorites in conference games. So to me, that's the lean here is the over.
And I lean that way too. Here's a betting system that you can write down, guys and gals. You're going to bet over the total in games that are lined between 220 and 229.5 with a team like the Clippers that is coming off a game where they covered the spread and is extremely well-rested team, playing only 3 games in the last 10 days. Obviously, it happens more than just at the All-Star break. But that set of parameters falls into place here. And that system has gone 110 and 52 for 67% winners over the last 25 seasons. So that one is a pretty good one there for the over in the Lakers-Clippers game. And now our third and final game is the
Heat and Knicks.
I was getting the sheet up, but anyway, it is the Heat against the Knicks. Technology today has killed me, Ronald. It has just been brutally bad. And, I have to sit there and wait for a page to refresh and I have gigabyte speed, for goodness sake. I'm just ranting. Anyway, it's Friday, thank God. IPA time is only hours away. Miami Heat, 2nd in the Eastern Conference against the New York Knicks, 12th in the Eastern Conference. The Knicks are a team that I've said time and time again, they're just dysfunctional. It's the only thing you can describe it. And even when they do play defense, they're just not that good. They're not the same team they were last year. And I don't see much of a run coming from them to make the playoffs down the stretch here. And second of all, there's not enough games left for them to leapfrog over all the teams that are ahead of them in the standings. Mm-hmm. But this is at Madison Square Garden, one of my favorite venues to ever watch anything at. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time scheduled tip-off. The Heat, my predictive models, Ronald, have the Heat being the number 1 seed, and you're getting 5-1 for them to win the Eastern Conference. So I've been nibbling at that just a little bit with pizza money. As I said, 38-21, they're 33-25 against the number. Knicks are 26-33 against the number. Tell me where you're going with this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Heat, they're getting back to full strength, really. I mean, they're going to get Harrell back also off the bench. This is the first game of back-to-back road to home games, and they have a tough schedule coming up. And they failed to cover it in 3 straight. So I think going into the break, I feel like they didn't like how they ended that first half. So I think they might come out of the break pretty strong here. And obviously the Knicks, they're free falling right now. They're 3-13 straight up and 5-11 against the spread in the last 16 games. Obviously, the Kemba news of him sitting out the rest of the season. Derrick Rose, I think he's likely out. Noel, he's a true game time decision. RJ Barrett, I think he practiced, so he's likely to play. But I just don't know where their head is at right now as a team. And the trends also, they look to be the trends. Are looking as a fade for the Knicks. They're 8-15 against the spread against teams with a winning record, 5-10 against the spread following a previous matchup loss. So even in revenge spots, they're not getting the job done. And the Heat, they're 16-10 against the spread against teams with a losing record. So to me, the Heat, they need to bounce back with a bad close to that first half, and they're getting healthy. I think they put things together here. Their squad, when at full strength, is one of the best defensive teams in the league, and the Knicks struggling offensively, that's not a good mix for them. So to me, the Heat is the play in this one.
And I think it's very cheap. Just a question for you. What was that trend you said against losing record teams that the Knicks have?
The Knicks are 8-15 against the spread against teams with a winning record, and then the Heat are 16-10 against teams with a losing record.
Yeah, and I have two subsets for you. I just wanted to make sure that I understood what you were saying. And New York is 2-10 against the number, playing a winning record team this season when they're at home. I only added the home part.
Yeah.
So I'm just taking your stuff and drilling down the database here.
Yeah.
And also Miami is 14-2 against the number in the last two seasons in the second half of each of those two seasons when they're playing against a team with a losing record. So just a little variation upon a theme, but it brings out some good betting intelligence for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's why we do this show, right, John?
That's exactly right. We learn from each other, and that's why our records are as good as they are over at SportsMemo.com, guys. And you're seeing the promo code there at the bottom. So take advantage of that. It's only $99 for each one of us. Spend $99 twice, get both of us. I'm sure you will be more than delighted with the 30 days and the results. So we come to the part of the show where we do our show best bet. I'll turn it over to you to start and see what you have.
Yeah, I mean these. I think I'm going to cross off that Lakers game probably. I don't think I see anything there as far as a personal bet. I do think the Heat might be the best play out of the three games. I think they're the most trustworthy team against a team that you want to look to fade. So I think Heat against the spread would be the look here.
I can't agree more, Ronald. Let's go with the Heat as our one and only best bet for the show. And that brings us to the end of the show and a well-deserved and earned weekend for both of us, Ronald. I think, as you could tell, I've just had one of those days where you just have to sit back and kind of laugh and chuckle. It's nothing you can really do about it. You just try to get through it, and it's all good. But thanks for being on the show, as always. Thanks to the guys and gals out there watching these. Take the moment to subscribe and ring the bell, and then you'll be notified of every single one of our exponentially growing shows. And I'm not kidding about that, and we're very grateful and appreciative that we are growing as fast as we are. We aim to give our best every single time, obviously. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments section under the YouTube channel there. We'll do our best to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. And we'll be back on Monday for another edition of the NBA Triple Double Show. And until then, have a great weekend. Best of luck to everyone. Bet with your head, not over it, and may all the wins be yours.